July 2nd, 2024, 6 p.m. The Damascus-Yafour highway. A BMW speeds down the road. Behind the wheel sits one of the most powerful and most enigmatic women in Syria, Luna al-Shibl. Minutes later, Luna's bloodied body is rushed to a hospital. 3 days on, the media announces her death. The official account: a car accident. It's a story nobody in Syria believes. This is the story of Luna al-Shibl, special advisor to Bashar al-Assad, Syria's former president. A powerful woman who'd earned the title Syria's Second Lady, but who, it eventually emerged, was in contact with foreign intelligence services. Her death came shortly after Israel's strike on the Iranian consulate in Damascus, an attack believed to have been made possible by intelligence leaked to Mossad from inside Assad's own government. History is in the headlines, but the truth? That's hidden in the profiles. Welcome to Profile. Subscribe to join our community of curious minds. Luna al-Shibl's story began far from the dark corridors of power. She was an ambitious young woman from the border city of Sueda, a region that serves as the heartland of Syria's Druze minority, roots that would always leave her feeling like an outsider inside the power structure. She went to Damascus University to study journalism, transforming there from a small-town girl into a professional journalist. Luna started her career as a reporter in Damascus and quickly found her way onto Syrian state television. There, she stood out as a young, modern face inside an otherwise tightly controlled traditional medium. But her ambition reached far beyond Syria's borders. The real turning point came in 2003 when Al Jazeera hired her as a correspondent. It was a major leap onto the international stage.
موجز الأنباء من قناة الجزيرة في قطر. أهلا بكم. انتهت اليوم الحملات الدعائية لمرشحي الرئاسة في إيران.
At a time when Al Jazeera was the leading critical voice across the Arab world, Luna quickly became host of the network's popular show For Women Only, a program covering issues facing Arab women that drew millions of viewers. Her warm voice, her fluency in Arabic and English, and her boldness in interviews earned her some major gets, including a much-discussed interview with Manouchehr Mottaki, Iran's foreign minister at the time. She also reported from the field in Lebanon, Palestine, and Iraq. In 2008, Luna married Sami Klebe, a prominent Lebanese Al Jazeera correspondent, and gained Lebanese citizenship. Life in Doha, a high salary, fame, financial security, everything looked ideal. But at the peak of her fame, tensions began to build. Al Jazeera was steadily adopting a more critical stance toward the Syrian government, and Luna found herself under pressure. In 2010, 1 year before the Arab Spring flared up, she made a decision that stunned many, resigning from Al Jazeera in May of that year and returning to Syrian state television, where she hosted programs like Syria Today. The move turned out to be a prelude, a trial run for entering the inner circle of power. The first real sign of that final choice came in March 2011, when the flames of the Arab Spring reached Syria. Luna al-Shibl was no longer an international correspondent. She was a Syrian state TV anchor. There was no more choice to make. She'd already made it. She threw her full support behind the Assad government immediately, dismissing the protests as a foreign conspiracy. All the credibility and experience she'd built at Al Jazeera was now put in service of an entirely different narrative. Her loyal performance didn't go unnoticed for long. According to historical records, she first worked within Syria's National Security Bureau before being appointed in February 2012 director of the presidency's Political and Media Office, a post previously held by Buthaina Shaban. The appointment marked a point of no return in her story. A woman who had once put hard questions to power was now about to become power's own voice. the one writing the narrative of a bloody war for the entire world to read. Luna was no longer reporting the war. She was directing it. She became the chief architect of the Syrian government's official narrative, one in which popular protests became a foreign terrorist conspiracy, and the crackdown on those protests became a fight against extremism. Her core mission was managing Bashar al-Assad's image across the Arab world. She prepped the president for interviews with Western media, teaching him how to come across as calm, rational, and in command, how to field hard questions about chemical weapons, and how to present himself as secularism's last line of defense against the monster of terrorism. She was Assad's voice in the world's ear. In March 2012, thousands of private emails from Bashar and Asma al-Assad's accounts were leaked, hacked by Syrian opposition figures, and handed over to outlets like The Guardian, Al Jazeera, and Al Arabiya. The content exposed the Assad family's private life, Asma's luxury shopping sprees, jewelry and furniture worth thousands of dollars, alongside Assad's political consultations with Iranian officials, and even casual jokes exchanged among advisors. Luna's name surfaced among these emails too. Her correspondence painted a picture of a relationship far closer than simple media advising, one where the line between professional and personal seemed to blur, fueling rumors about just how deep her influence over Bashar al-Assad actually ran. Sami, Luna's husband, who had already been unhappy about her ties to regime officials, decided to separate from her once the emails came out. The two divorced, and years later, in 2016, Luna married Ammar Sati, head of Syria's student union and a well-known confidant of Maher al-Assad, the president's brother. It was during this same period that Luna brought her brother, Malhem al-Shibl, into the Syrian Presidential Guard. He rose to the rank of brigadier general and became one of its most influential officers. Luna al-Shibl was now among the most powerful women in the Syrian government, her influence outstripping even the most senior security officials. In the corridors of power, she'd earned a nickname, Syria's Second Lady. The nickname stoked jealousy from Syria's actual First Lady, Asma al-Assad, and set off a hidden feminine power struggle inside the palace. The rivalry escalated to the point that Asma moved to limit Luna's influence, formally demoting her to serve as her own advisor, a move designed to put distance between Luna and Bashar. Her role remained pivotal enough, though, that she landed on the US and EU sanctions lists as one of the key pillars propping up the Assad regime. That loyalty came with substantial rewards. Luna ended up owning an $8 million villa in Dubai, a car rental company, a gas station, and even a luxury Russian restaurant in the heart of Damascus. Luna's influence peaked between 2014 and 2020. She coordinated Assad's international interviews, managed the government's social media presence, and even handled informal negotiations with Hamas and Hezbollah. She also played a key role in confidential talks with Russia, traveling repeatedly to Sochi and building close personal ties with certain Kremlin officials. This is what led Qasem Soleimani, then commander of Iran's Quds Force, to warn Ali Mamlouk, Syria's national security chief, in a private meeting that Luna and her brother Malhem were spying for Israel, and that she was leaking sensitive intelligence. According to reports, Soleimani put it bluntly, "She's a spy. Her salary used to be $10,000. Now it's 500,000 Syrian pounds. Is it plausible anyone would make that trade willingly?" The accusation never became public, but Luna's relationship with Iran soured badly after that. Even so, at the 2023 Arab League summit in Riyadh, the summit that finally marked Syria's return to the Arab League, Luna sat beside Assad, chewing gum with visible indifference through every session. The image went viral almost instantly, earning her a new nickname, Mustashara al-Alqa, the chewing gum advisor. July 2nd, 2024, 6 p.m. The Damascus-Yafour highway. A BMW collides with a truck. Behind the wheel, alone, is Luna al-Shibl.
أن سيارة مصفحة صدمت سيارة الشبل.
State media reported that Luna al-Shibl had been severely injured in a car accident. 3 days later, on July 5th, it was announced that she had died from a severe brain hemorrhage at al-Shami hospital. The circumstances surrounding her death fueled speculation and conspiracy theories. Government opponents claimed an armored vehicle had deliberately rammed her car, a sign of an organized assassination. It was also reported that the driver of that armored vehicle had been detained and taken to an undisclosed location. At the same time, her husband, Ammar Sati, was reportedly denied permission to visit her in the hospital. In the wake of the crash, various accounts emerged suggesting Luna had been sidelined in recent weeks over Bashar al-Assad's and Iranian advisors' growing suspicion of her. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a UK-based monitoring group, Bashar al-Assad had removed Luna and her husband from the Ba'ath Party's Central Committee 2 months before the crash, in May 2024. Reportedly, this stemmed from Iranian frustration over claims that she'd been passing sensitive details of Syrian-Iranian official meetings to her Russian contacts. But the real turning point was the discovery of covert contacts between her and her family and foreign powers. According to reports, Syrian intelligence had discovered that Luna and her husband were planning to flee to a luxury villa in Sochi, Russia. At the same time, following Israel's strike on the Iranian consulate in Damascus, security agencies, the IRGC and Hezbollah among them, were hunting for the source of the leak. The investigation found that Malham al-Shibl, Luna's brother, had passed along critical intelligence about the location of the IRGC commander's meeting to foreign services. Evidence also surfaced that Luna herself had transferred classified documents to Russia. Earlier reports had indicated that Ammar Sati had already been removed from his academic position at Damascus University in June 2024 amid a financial corruption investigation, and that authorities had restricted his movement and placed him on a travel ban. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights reported that once this information came to light, Luna's husband was arrested on corruption charges, and her brother was arrested on espionage charges. Luna al-Shibl was buried in a Damascus cemetery. The funeral was notably subdued. Limited attendance from officials, minimal media coverage, a strong signal that the Assad government wanted to avoid drawing attention to her death. Luna al-Shibl's death didn't close her file. It turned it into a great mystery, one that might have gone unresolved in Damascus forever. Had she fallen victim to Ozma's jealousy? Had she been eliminated in some settling of scores between Iran and Russia? Or had she been killed on Bashar al-Assad's direct order for spying for Israel and planning her escape? For more than a year, these questions went unanswered, until December 2025, on the anniversary of Bashar al-Assad's downfall, an envelope marked Top Secret was sent to Al-Arabiya.
فيديوهات جديدة وحصرية على العربية تكشف شخصية بشار الأسد مع أهم حليف له روسيا ورئيسها بوتين. الأسد تحدث بسخرية عن بوتين، شاركته السخرية مستشارته لونا الشبل في جولتهم الشهيدة بالغوطة عام 2018.
شفتوا لك بوتين قديش نافخ؟
كله هذا عمليات؟
كله عمليات، عمره 65 سنة هو.
The videos, which appeared to have been secretly recorded by Luna, perhaps as insurance against Assad, perhaps for future leverage, showed her riding alongside him through the ruins of Ghouta on the outskirts of Damascus. According to Al-Arabiya, the envelope had been found inside the presidential palace, alongside Luna's own personal documents. Her assistant, Amjad Issa, had been present in the car when the recordings were made. The footage captured the behind-the-scenes reality of Bashar al-Assad's official visits, moments that were never meant to be seen. In one scene, Assad tells Luna, "Let's film it so it looks like I have no idea the army's already entered the town." It was a total setup, staged from start to finish. More shocking than the staged footage, though, were the private conversations themselves. Laughing, Assad describes soldiers kissing his hand as behaving like dogs. He mocks the people of Ghouta, killed by chemical weapons, and curses them outright. He even calls Suhail al-Hassan, one of his most loyal commanders, known as the Tiger, an animal. In these videos, not even Assad's closest allies were safe from his mockery. Of Hezbollah, he says, "Damn their fathers, real clowns." These weren't idle comments. They were state secrets and insults that, if exposed, could poison the Syrian government's relationships with its most vital allies and completely demolish Assad's image at home. These videos, whose release shocked the world a year after Assad's downfall, provided the answer to the mystery of Luna al-Shibl's death. The footage proved that Bashar al-Assad's fear and suspicion of his closest advisor had never been unfounded. What do you make of Luna al-Shibl's suspicious death? Do you think she, or her brother, passed the time and location of that Iranian military meeting at the consulate in Damascus to Israel? Or were other actors inside Assad's own government cooperating with Israel instead? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Until next time, stay curious.